history and our endless wanderings, it has endured. A beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest self. Now we, in turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross the threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer.
We're going to move now towards the lighting of our Shabbat candles, and Rachel is going to get us in the mindset for that.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There's no place on earth without the presence.
But on Shabbat, we especially imagine the Shekhinah, the very near and present sense we have of the divine in that world, is with us. In recognition of that, we start Shabbat by welcoming the Shekhinah, imagining the radiant Sabbath bride who comes and stays with us. We prepare to welcome her in with Padodi, which you can find on pages 20 and 21. We'll sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, and on the last verse, we rise as able and face the entrance to our sanctuary.
Shabbat bride isn't our only guest for the night. Our tradition also teaches us that we host two angels for Shabbat, who we greet with Shalom Aleichem, peace unto you. A song greeting the angels who celebrate with us. You can find Shalom Aleichem on page 24.
And you can sit.
Having welcomed Shabbat into our sanctuary and our lives for the day, we move now to worship and prayer. We will begin with Baruch, our call to worship on page 28. We rise in body and spirit and face the art. You may be seated.
We're going to move now into Ma'ariv, our Avim, reflecting on the changing lights and the cycles of time.
This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is an hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over?
Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. We're going to move now into Ahavat Olam, into Shema, into Ve'ahavta. And before we do that, I want to just invite everyone to take a deep breath in and let that breath out. And feel yourself connected to wherever you are sitting or standing. Feel your weight on the seat and your feet touching the ground and your breath in your body. And find some quiet to bring with you as we enter into Shabbat, starting with Ahavat Olam on page 32.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael, Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael, Ahavat Olam, Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael. What a great love, what a great love you have given us. What a great love, what a great love you have given us. Israel, Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael, Ahavat Olam, Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael. What a great love, what a great love you have given us. What a great love, what a great love you have given us. Et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני
Adonai Elohim emes.
Every journey of liberation crosses the sea, pursued by a vicious past, surrounded by fragile miracles, on a steady march to an unknown destination. Every journey of liberation begins at midnight, in the darkest hour of oppression, with the blood of a sacrifice, with secret signs and anxious anticipation. Let us sing a song of salvation, a song of absolution, benevolence, and compassion, of deliverance, freedom, and emancipation, of power, rescue, and release, of pardon, restoration, and reprieve, of the might and the mercy of our Maker, of God's generosity and grace. Nichamocha by Elohim by Elim Adonai, Nichamocha Nedar Bakodesh, Nora Tehilot Osei Fele. Who is like you, O God, among the gods that are worshipped? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, working wonders? Let every journey of liberation end on the opposite shore, exhausted but jubilant, on the edge of an undiscovered land, with shouts of joy and delight, when our struggle leads to redemption.
You can find Mi Chamocha on page 40.
Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you,
Our Ashkivenu prayer expresses our common desire for safety. We ask for Sakut Shalom, for a canopy of peace to be spread over us, to keep us sheltered from the harshness of life. You can find the words for Ashkivenu on page 42.
Shalom.
to once again rise as you are able in body or spirit. And we are going to again face the ark as we enter our Amidah, our standing prayer. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufiyah ki tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Emotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevi Gula Livnei Leman Shemo V'Ahava, Melech Ozir U'Mashiach Nakim. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Be'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol atah Rab V'Hoshia. Mori atah, Mechalkel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechayeh HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim. Somech Noflim V'Rofeh Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Mikamocha Al Gevurot, Umidom Elav, Melech Menit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, Ne'eman atah lechayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'kol yom v'halalu ha'selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. You may be seated. We're going to turn to page 60 for whichever song, and it feels like leading us in. I think it's Shalom Rav. Is it not?
55.
Hmm?
55.
Okay, you won't. We'll move right along to the silent prayer. Do you mind introducing that for us?
Sure. Do you rise again? Okay. Then take a moment for the prayers that are in your heart or in the book, whatever feels most like speaks to you. And then
In a few moments, we'll be back for Osei Shalom. You can find the words for Osei Shalom on page 62.
Shalom bimrocha, Say Shalom Aleinu, Yaakov Yisrael, Yaakov Yishveteva, Shalom Bimrocha, Shalom Aleinu.
to invite up Ed to lead us in Misha Berach. We are thinking of those who are in need of body and spiritual healing.
At this time, we think of all the people in our community who are in need of healing and help. Amy Thornton, Stacy Hetzel, Jacqueline Tara Smith, Deborah Rose, Eileen Kreisman, Ronnie Haber, Ellen Gottlieb, Vanessa Bianco, Paul McCready, Glenn Lest, Carl Wilhite, Jenny Gaston, Cindy Balin, Patty Newby, Michelle Arrigo, Joni Michaels, Joe Giordano, Brian Ward, Joshua Kornblue, Joe Dover, Christina Marie Lindsay, Janine Morris, Margaret Nichols, M. Buktenica, Ron Louie, Barb Carmichael, Nina Winokur, Susan Goldstein, Richard Apple, Jason Apple, Sally Wilderson, Marnie Good, Arlene Schuster, Sylvia Angel, Marion Laird, Wilma Weinstein Lomax, and Faye Stansel. Sorry. If I mispronounced any other names or there's another name to add, please feel free to add the name of the person you're thinking of. Please join me in Misha Berach. Join Emmett.
Page 253. Thank you. You can all sit down for a moment. There's a drawer up here somewhere. Okay. When I was first studying for my conversion to Judaism, Shabbat always caught me by surprise, and I felt like I wasn't really getting Shabbat and welcoming it into my life. And then there was this image that I don't remember where I read, but really helped it settle in for me. And it was this image of Shabbat as this sunlight that all the other days of the week stretched towards and leaned towards, like flowers towards the sun. This idea that starting Wednesday evening, you're starting to think about what you need to do for the end of the week. You're starting to anticipate it. By Wednesday, it's appropriate to say Shabbat Shalom to someone you're not going to see before the next Shabbat. So it's already in anticipation of Shabbat by Wednesday. Thursday, you're getting things ready so that Friday, you're in this last moment rush of activity. And then you have Shabbat, these beautiful 25 hours, 24 hours, depending on how you measure it. And then the days following it are sort of basking in the glow, remembering the beauty of Shabbat as you move into Sunday, as you move into your week on Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday comes around, and it's time to start looking forward to the next one. And that really helped me see Shabbat as part of a weekly cycle. and it helped me understand the importance of attention or preparation, which we call hachana in Hebrew, in the Jewish tradition. Writer Anita Diamant writes that preparation is the difference between mechanical holidays and meaningful holidays, between enforced holidays and holidays that are genuinely fun. Preparation is what enables us to bask in the present without worrying about what is left unfinished. This sense of celebration, this taste of redemption, is the goal of all Jewish ritual, of Shabbat, and of the Jewish holidays. Rabbi Alan Liu of blessed memory agrees. He writes, Judaism believes in the particularity of time, that certain times have special spiritual properties, but they have these special properties only when we are mindful. If we consciously observe Shabbat, Shabbat has this holy quality. If we don't, it is merely Friday night, merely Saturday afternoon. And when it is invested with our awareness, Yom Kippur, the day itself, has the power to heal and to atone. This week put me in mind of the High Holy Days approaching in two ways. The first is that this Torah portion talks about them. It has instructions for the fixed times, these special offerings that are offered every year or every month or every week as a way of relating to the eternal. That includes the holidays of Yom Kippur and the one that would become known as Rosh Hashanah. Also, this is the first of three so-called haftarot of affliction. The readings for this Shabbat and the next two Shabbat follow a special cycle because this past week we observed the 17th of Tammuz, and in 2 weeks we will be observing Tisha B'Av. It's a period of mourning on our calendar, 2.5 weeks. Thank you. Tisha B'Av is the signal of our shift into the end of the cycle of the Jewish year, as we come back around to the month of Elul and the High Holy Days. Traditionally, Tisha B'Av is a day of mourning. It's a fast commemorating the fall of the first and second temples, so it's a time of deep grief and loss. Symbolically, Tisha B'Av is the low point from which we approach the high holidays. Like the exile from Israel and the destruction of the temple created the conditions for a new kind of Judaism, the one that we know today, that replaced sacrifice and temple service with prayer and spiritual mitzvot. Like that, we can use this time to prepare ourselves for the transformation of the self that we hope to make in a handful of weeks. What is the pain we need to let ourselves feel right now? What is the loss that we need to mourn? What ideas and constructs do we need to let fall to make space for what is about to emerge? Life feels chaotic for many of us right now. We feel that we're moving at a breakneck pace, days and weeks mush together, and the busyness of life provides us with a never-ending list of things to pay attention to. As we move into this Shabbat, this first of 3 Shabbatot of special reflection, which set us on the path to Yom Kippur, I'd like to encourage us all to think about the experience that we want to have, or perhaps need to have, this high holy day season. What will make the difference to you between the high holy days that are just a string of busy days in a busy year? What will transform those days from a list of events into a time of meaningful reflection and connection? And what can we do now to prepare for it? Shabbat Shalom. If you would all rise as able in body or spirit and turn to page 283. That's 283. We will do the Aleinu, which is our call to action, our reminder that the things that need to happen in the world don't happen by chance. They happen if we make them happen. Aleinu leshabeach radon hakol, lateikilah leyotzeh breshit, shehu sankalchenu leyacher et shemo, vegor aleinu lehamlik malchuto, v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch
Ushemo, Ushemo Echad.
You may be seated.
May be seated, please. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people that I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. Now turn to we recognize those in our community who have passed and those close to people in our community in the last 30 days. Jack Michael, husband of Margaret Michael and brother-in-law of Elizabeth Knopf. Helen Weaver, sister of Susan Goldstein. Barbara Laird, friend of Glenn Lest. Alan Kendall, husband of Susan Kendall. We also recognize the yahrzeits of people who have passed at this time in previous years. Benjamin Portman, Isidore Stusser, Judith Cantor, Jordan Beck, Sidney Kornblue, Evelyn G. Bass, Jean Ray Hurwitz, Joseph Patrick, Michael Spruill, Jack Dominance, Lillian Gersman, Norman Nyman, Catherine Holly Anderson, Stuart Dougeson, Yitzhak Deshawn. If I mispronounced anybody's name or if there are any names to add, please do so. Please turn to page 294 for the Kaddish.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, v'yoma divrach Yerutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon u'vyomechon u'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agalah u'bizman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam omer amen. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitchadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei d'Kedusha b'richu, La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran v'elma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen.
You may be seated. Before we finish up our service with Kiddush and Hamotzi, I want to thank all of our participants, those of you sitting who have joined us here in person, those of you who have joined us online, those who have joined us on the Bima, however briefly or long. Thank you so much for helping us welcome in Shabbat. These youths are going to go get the Kiddush cup and lead us in Kiddush, which you can find on page 5. You do.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu l'shabbat kvosho be'ahava uvratzon הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנקלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
L'chaim. And the challah, if you please. Thank you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon. Thank you all. Thank you all. We are going to close out with a song.
Times are late, good to me. I thank God for breathing. When I'm good, don't take me soon. 'Cause I'm here for a reason. Tears are down, but they never let me down. So when you peace around, I know today is what because all my life I've been praying for the people who say that we don't want to find more. There'll be no more, and I can't ever play. I've been praying for the people who say that we don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no wars, and our children will play.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Emmett. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Marnie. Thank you, Sally. Thank you all. Shabbat Shalom. And thank you, Fabiana.